It's time for Wisconsin race fans to gather round. Welcome to the Racing RoundUp Show. Thanks for joining us for our 41st consecutive season. We are your destination for news and interviews from NASCAR, the Upper Midwest, and within the Wisconsin racing scene. The Racing RoundUp Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing RoundUp Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, how are you? Glad to see you on this Monday night. Not often we get to do Mondays anymore. Thanks for joining us. It's a road show brought to you by Oak Creek Automotive and our friends at Keith's Marina. It's a Benson Valley Bourbon Road Show at the El Bandito Yankee Tequila qualifying party. Long day of practice today between the super late models and the late models practicing. We have drivers to talk to. We're going to take one commercial break and come right back and talk to a driver who's the defending champ and a driver looking to win his very first Slinger Nationals in a moment. Stick around, listen to our show, watch our show live on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, and our website, RacingRoundUpShow.com. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing RoundUp Show. Check out our website, RacingRoundUpShow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing RoundUp. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors. Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa-certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement, 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive.
Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. Life is full of questions. Is the presentation ready for work tomorrow? Why is there so much traffic at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday? Are your in-laws visiting this weekend or next? You've got plenty of things to worry about. Whether your car will start shouldn't be one of them. With an outrageously dependable battery under your hood, you can cross one of those questions off your list, which gives you time to answer more things like,
are we there yet?
Interstate Batteries, delivering the most trustworthy source of power to the world since 1952.
Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground is your destination for relaxation and fun. There's a full-service bar and restaurant with 54 campsites with full hookups, all less than a mile from the beautiful Wolf River. It's where the locals go in Fremont, Wisconsin. It's also home to the Midwest Mower Racing Club. All roads lead to Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground in Fremont, Wisconsin. Visit their Facebook page for live entertainment and lawnmower racing schedules. Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing RoundUp Show.
Welcome back to the Racing RoundUp Show. It's a Benson Valley Bourbon Road Show brought to you by Oak Creek Automotive and Keith's Marina. We're hanging out at the El Bandito Yankee Tequila Racers Party here at Slinger Super Speedway on a Monday night, because Tuesday night is the 46th running of the Cobblestone Hotel's Slinger Nationals, presented by Lynch GMC and Buick in West Bend and Miller Lite. We got two drivers hanging out with us that are two Wisconsin legends. Everybody give it up for Brad Miller and Casey Johnson. Thanks for joining us, guys, on the show.
Thanks for having us, Jimmy.
Bradley, it's been a while since you had a chance to say, I finally won the Slinger Nationals. About a year ago at 2 in the morning, you said, what? That trophy's mine? The check's mine? congrats on being the defending champion of this big race.
Thank you, Jim. It wasn't expected. It was quite a surprise to us, it's. I just like to repeat that this year, but do it on the track.
In terms of practicing today, and qualifying is going to be tomorrow, so we have a qualifying draw that just happened, a cans of Miller Lite we're drawing for that. When it comes to practicing today, what did you all check off? What are you comfortable about? And how important is qualifying, knowing that this impound thing's now looming over the idea of how fast you go for 3 laps and how fast your car needs to be for 200 with little changes?
Well, we didn't find out about the impound thing till probably about an hour till practice is over.
Okay.
And I'm like,
that's when I learned about it.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know about that, so that's a whole new deal for me because I've never had to deal with that on dirt.
No. But you always had 3 laps of hot laps, then you went racing.
Right.
Didn't have a day of practice.
You're right, exactly. So we didn't put a lot of practice laps on today. We had a really good car here a week ago Sunday. And
you won the race, by the way, on June 29th. 100-lapper. Nice tune-up.
And the car has been really good. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. Between Dave Reed and Travis and Paul and Dan from AEC and my car owner, Kevin Barker, and our whole group of guys, I mean, we've been together forever, so it's cool to start, getting back in the rhythm, winning again. We struggled for a few years, but things seem to be picking up again, and I think we got a really, really good piece tomorrow. So we went out and practiced early. We had some really old rubber on the car, and it was a little free, but it was really hot here today. And when you're practicing out here, when it's so hot like that, you learn absolutely zero. So you just keep the car at square one, which works. A lot of these guys that come from out of town, Casey has not been here all year, so he's going to struggle tomorrow. I'm telling you that right now.
You've heard it here first, apparently.
Yeah. So, I'll just give him one of those when I'm coming through,
Yeah.
So, but it's different. I mean, there's guys bolting tires on. I bolted one set of tires on at the end. We went a 23 in the 5th practice session. I said, the car's pretty good. Just need to free it up just a little bit for qualifying. But I don't know how much I want to free it up because it races so good. I mean, this car that we have right now, it's like our fastest lap last week was like lap 40, and we're turning 5s. I mean, the car was just amazing. So if I don't fall out of the seat, we should be there at the end tomorrow night.
Well, Casey, you've been able to race your way up to as far as 2nd. You've had speed in your car. You've been one driver to watch and to beat here in past Slinger Nationals runs. You're kind of on your own little tear this year, but first time here at Slinger. What'd you learn today?
It was kind of like what Brad said. I mean, we unloaded off the trailer with a car that we haven't had out this year, but right out of the gate it had really good speed, so we didn't want to put a ton of laps on it because, like he said, when the track's hot, you're not learning a ton, so you just want to make sure you got a good baseline, something to hit it hard with tomorrow. And we had that, so we just, we probably ran about 30 laps today and put her away.
We had an interview with Casey during our Flow coverage, which it's live on Flow tomorrow night. If you can't make it to Slinger, shame on you if you can't be here and you're watching this show. You need to be here for the Slinger Nationals. There's nothing like it. But when it comes to the question that you were asked, you were in street clothes hanging out, like, I'm going to wait till later to put a lap in. Yeah. How many laps do you think you got today?
Yeah, probably like 25, 30, nothing crazy. We didn't want to scramble. I've done that in years past where you just chase the track all day long. It's constantly rubbering up. I know they're going to spray the outside group tomorrow. So things are going to change. So you just don't want to overthink it. I've done a lot of that in my years past running the Nationals, and I didn't want to make that same mistake. So like I say, we just wanted to make sure we were close. Everything was, comfortable, and then we'll hit her hard tomorrow.
Bradley spent 27 years trying to win this thing. Casey, I know it's important for you to win races like this in your home state of Wisconsin. How big of a deal would it be for you to bag that one tomorrow?
Oh, it'd be huge. I think it's the last big one in Wisconsin that I need to win, so it's highlighted pretty hard there. This race just means so much to a lot of people. I mean, the history of it. I mean, this track. It's just an awesome race,
For those who may not know, Casey Johnson is back kind of racing full-time, but you've got a lot of business now. You got a lot of cars to keep track of. Grant Griesbach is the weekly Super Late Model points leader. You help prepare his car. He races Thursday nights at Kaukauna and Wisconsin International Raceway. You've got a Jaden Johnson leading the points here in the late models, the car that you directly have hands on, no relation. How much does that help you dial in when you get here? Because you have tendencies, you got feedback from drivers that you are literally helping get faster, and they're helping you in some way, right?
Yeah, 100%. So literally I took Grant's scale sheet that I set his car up with and put it in my car, and that's what we unloaded with. And right out of the gate, like I say, it was really good. So what he's been able to do this year has helped me a ton just to get prepared for this race.
And Brad's got a Midwest Truck Series truck you won with on Sunday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take any setups out of that for, the Super?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
It's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a fun race yesterday. There's so many guys in that truck series. They're just so respectful to race with. I raced with Aaron Moyer and Brandon Reichenberger, two great kids that I've watched them their whole career, watching them race and stuff. And I knew you could race side by side with them and not end up out in the pickers. So it was a lot of fun. And I was thankful for lap cars at the end because I was starting to get a little bit free in the middle of the corner. So I had to park it alongside those lap cars a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we were still able to pull off the win.
2 lanes only, no 3-lane racing.
That's it. 2 lanes is all you get here.
Casey, get us some more detail on it. If the car gets snappy loose at about 55 laps into a run, what do you do?
Hang on and hope the brake's coming soon.
And pray I'm not behind them.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
yeah, that's the ant thing. Yeah,
Pretty good chance you will be, but we'll see.
Now, when it comes to representing the Slinger Nationals, yes, there's a T-shirt with the winners' names on it, but you guys have been the top of the game. You guys have been the measure here at Slinger, here across Wisconsin, across the Midwest Tour. How important is it to kind of say, you know what, if somebody's coming in here, they gotta prove they can beat us? Is that any feeling, or is that just a myth, Bradley?
You want to go first?
Sure. I'd say when the out of towners come here, you want to have your best game going, and you don't want them to kick your butt. Bubba's a hell of a driver, but he took home the trophy a few years ago, and obviously we don't like that. He wouldn't like it if we went to his backyard and did the same thing. So no, it's important for us to take care of our home turf, I'd say.
And sponsorship comes with that. Bradley, you've got some sponsors, BMR Electric Carts. Casey, you've got Oak Creek Automotive among your sponsors, 2 great Wisconsin companies. That's kind of cool to represent them as well.
Oh, 100%. All my sponsors are Wisconsin-based, and pretty much all of them will be here tomorrow. So that's just another reason to run up front.
And Bradley, when it comes to Icon bikes, I see e-bikes, I see Icon electric golf carts around the property here at Slinger. How can we get our hands on one of our own with the options available?
We have a lot of stuff rolling around the pits. So those little 2-wheel scooters, Casey bought one from me last year. Yep. And a lot of the guys that I'm racing with tonight or tomorrow have those scooters as well. I sold like 78 of those last year.
So they're all just going to pull over when you come by?
That's not going to happen.
Okay, just checking.
You know how hard it's been over the years, Jim, because you know how many trailers I've sold over the years. Because I've been in the trailer business for 25 years. And when you pull alongside somebody and you're trying to pass them and you can't get by them, and you're like, he's a customer. You really can't give him a door prize on the way by. You got to be nice. So it's tough. It's really tough. But it's been a great business. My wife and I started this back in 2022, and we've sold over 250 golf carts so far. And between scooters and e-bikes, it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot less stress, and I don't have as much work to do. So
he says. But you got to work tomorrow night on backing up that Slinger Nationals title. How about a big hand for Brad Miller and Casey Johnson, 2 of the contenders for the 46th annual Slinger Nationals checkered flag. We're hanging out with you at Slinger Super Speedway. We'll be right back with more of our pre-race show leading into the big Slinger Nationals. Stick around.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club Points Racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack-leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much. American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
Precise Auto and Truck Accessories is your one-stop shop when it comes to adding style and functionality to your vehicles. Owner and late model racer Mike Grunberg has 15 years of experience installing window tinting, cat skin leather, seat heaters and seat coolers. There's a million accessories available. Ladder racks, trailer hitches, detailing, remote starters, and more. Precise Auto and Truck Accessories in Wisconsin Dells is a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. Bring your vehicle to the trusted guy, Mike Grunberg at Precise Auto and Truck Accessories.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us here on a Monday night. We're hanging out with you at the Slinger Nationals pre-race show. I'll call it that. El Bandido Yankee Tequila sponsoring it tonight. And I'll let you know that we have a lot of things going on. A lot of drivers just did their qualifying draw. There's barbecue down here available. It's a big party. It's a great pre-race party. They'll let the drivers mingle and such. So I grabbed these three guys out of the crowd. I want to thank our friends at Oak Creek Automotive and Benson Valley Bourbon, as well as Keith's Marina for sponsoring our show tonight. It's another road show. We're hanging out at Slinger Speedway. Looking forward to seeing you. If you're watching us on CW18 Milwaukee on a Saturday, we'll see you on Sunday nights here at Slinger Super Speedway. The big Slinger Nationals happens once a year on a Tuesday in July. Let's welcome in three drivers that I think are pretty cool to talk to, and I dragged them over, and they said, okay, I'll be on the show. Oak Creek Automotive sponsors Johnny Sauter. Benson Valley Bourbon sponsors Jeff Storm. And Derek Thorne is sponsored by whoever wants to pay him money, including El Bandido Yankee Tequila. Guys, thanks for coming on the show. But a big hand, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I like the idea that you're all here.
Good to be here.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, live with you here at Slinger Super Speedway for the moment, and we're looking forward to having you guys race tomorrow night. Now, Jeff Storm, you've been in qualifying mode all day or part of the day? Because getting in the top 16 is a pretty important deal for you.
Yeah, just the new Reed car we have here today was pretty decent. Worked hard. Mostly, I mean, you're running 10-lap runs, so obviously you want to be the top of the board and try to get as close as you can. But you also work on that balance a little bit. Hot sunshine, can't read a whole lot into it, but you got to get that balance. So that's what we worked on today with that car. And unfortunately, the end of practice, we had an issue. We're not sure if it's driveline related. It's something in the under the hood area, unfortunately. So we have to go to our backup car. The guys are in the back there right now. Have it unloaded, and when I get done here, I'll go back there and go to work, and we'll give it our best with that one. It's unfortunate. Really happy to, love working with the Reed family and everybody involved there. It's a great piece. Just here we go again, unfortunately. So I don't think anything's terminal, but before it is, let's just cut our losses and
bringing up the backup cars. So the notes you have from today, you're going to apply to the other car. It won't be exactly the same, but you'll have the same shock springs. What you practiced with today?
The cars are very similar. There's some mechanical grip that's a little different between the two, but a lot of our baseline numbers should transfer over. I got to get my notebook and and not go to work. Basically, it's not exactly the same. So
lots of work to do. Yeah.
And the game we play in, these guys will tell you, you got to be on the razor blade edge to be right, and so we're just gonna have to go to work and do our best. That's all we can do.
That's the thoughts of Waterford, Wisconsin's Jeff Storm. We now turn our attention to Bakersfield, California, for a driver who knows a thing or two about qualifying. For the last 6 Snowball Derbies, qualified in the pole for the 3rd straight year, including last year, the year before. He's finished on the podium, if you will, here at the Slinger Nationals. Derek Thorne, your thoughts today about working through things in that Paulie Schaefer Motorsports car that you've driven here before?
Yeah, I feel like my qualifying skills, you're raising me up, but I feel like my qualifying skills have been subpar at Slinger here lately, but car's been awesome. I'm just so thankful for the Schaefer family to give me the opportunity to run the 7 again. We've had great runs the last few years, like you said. But it's tough, when you have a group of cars like this, 36 of us. I was fortunate enough to draw the 1 for tomorrow for qualifying, which I don't think is ideal. But I guess it's all rain-related. I'm not sure. There's supposed to be a little – I know the storms around here have been kind of hit and miss. But all in all, we've had a decent balance on a race car. Just we put stickers on. You play the date code game. You play the stagger game. You're just looking for balance, looking for speed, obviously, because that's what's going to lock you into the show. Top 16 is going to make your day a lot less stressful. Last year we raced our way through the B-main. It was Morrissey, Mueller, and myself. We're all in the B-main, and I think we were all in the top 3 by the time the checkered flag flew. So is it a make-or-break thing? No, but does it give you a peace of mind? Absolutely.
Gives a lot of hope to the drivers trying to race their win. Derek Thornton was the 13th fastest in a mock qualifying run this afternoon, 11.290. The fastest time put down by Lick Finhouse, 11.106 seconds, so that's 0.17 of a second. Probably the length of this table, the difference between first and 13th or 15th or 20th.
I was bored at one point in time, so at 100 miles an hour, right, depending on when you cross the start-finish line, how fast you're going, but 1/1000th at 100 mile an hour is a half an inch, approximately. Let's say here at Slinger you're doing 70. I'm not the greatest at math, but let's say you're a 1/4 inch per 1,000, so you're talking less than probably 2 to 3 feet separating the field.
All right, half the size of this table. Speaking of speed, would you believe Johnny Sauter put together the 3rd fastest time in mock qualifying? Just saying, must be that Oak Creek Automotive along that lower quarter panel there. They got you all that speed, all that speed secrets. Johnny, congrats on the speed today, man.
Yeah, thanks. I can't take any credit for it. It's all Richie. So he asked me the other day, he says, what do you think this setup? And I said, you bring whatever you want. I said, I'm not even getting involved because I've come here every year and just struggled. Trying to apply lacrosse and the Dells and Kakana to here, and it's just you can't. So, compromise setups where you're taking a piece from here and a piece from there and trying to put it all together, it never works. So he came here and ran the ASA race with Jonathan Nee, and they thought they had really good speed. So pretty much exactly the way they were when we are with the way they left here. So Richie was right. It was fast. So I don't have the worries these guys do about the setup. I'm just holding the steering wheel.
That was a 300-lap race. Derek, you also raced in that for Highlands Motorsports. That was a 4-barrel carburetor race, and for those people wondering the difference, the 2 barrels are what we're racing here at the Slinger Nationals. What is the biggest difference for you when you got in your car here today in a 2-barrel versus what was raced with what Johnny just described, Jonathan Nee's efforts in that 5 car back in June?
From behind the wheel, you feel like you're going tenths faster than you would be with a 4-barrel to a 2-barrel. I feel like you're going just much faster, right? But when you actually look at the stopwatch, you're not doing a whole lot more but creating rear tire heat. And this tire has already been susceptible to heat and blistering and coming apart anyways. So all you're really doing is shooting yourself in the foot. You're creating rear tire heat, which is causing blistering on exit, drive-off issues. And then you're creating free-in issues because the back tires are getting hot. So more or less, the 2-barrel stuff, I think, really complements this track and this tire much better than the 4-barrel stuff. But obviously with the ASA and the way we're doing things, we have to keep things the same. But it's a quarter mile, high-banked quarter mile. I feel like from last year's race where we were all in the back of the pack, Mueller, myself, and Morrissey, there's plenty of opportunities to pass, and I think it's just a matter of getting a good balanced race car, surviving qualifying, and then getting in the race. But I think this the 4-barrel stuff just creates a lot more heat.
For a change, Derek Thorne does not have a teammate or another car to worry about. Jeff Storm's going to get to a backup car. That's a lot of worry. And for Johnny Sauter, it's the worry of a dad. Your son Penn is driving a super late model against you. You're pitted next to each other. It's a car you have had in your shop. Richie Waters prepares the car you're driving. What's it been like now for the second time you're to compete head-to-head with your 15-year-old son Penn?
Yeah, it's good. It's a little stressful. Obviously, you want to make sure that he's got what he needs. But at the same time, I'm not that old, so I still want to compete myself. So, I want to put my best effort forth and try to win one of these things. I've been fortunate enough to win a lot of races in Wisconsin, so this one's been on my list and have never even been close to winning here. So I I feel good. I mean, I feel good about it. But Penn's a smart little kid. I mean, he came here first time ever in a Bandolero and he won, and we had pretty good success here with his limited last year. So I think he walked in here today thinking he was going to set the world on fire, and it's just not that easy. So, you know, he's just young. He's got a lot to learn, but he's got the attitude. He's got that part down. So
and he is a solder, so there is speed in the genes. There is speed there.
So just trying to give him the best we can, but obviously I'm worried about our efforts as well. So I just told him keep the fenders on it. We just need to come out of here in one piece, get an education, and hopefully he can do that.
It happens once a year. It's called the Slinger Nationals. It's happening Tuesday night of this week. 200 lap racing. Let's give a big hand for Johnny Sauter, Derek Thorne, and this man, Jeff Storm, going to a backup car here on the show. Thanks, guys, for joining us on the program. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having us.
We'll be right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We were going to sell those on eBay, Bradley. We were.
Pretty scratched up.
Well, you can still try to sell them on eBay. They are, you know, pretty famously worn.
eBay is not even a thing anymore. You got to go on Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace? Good to know. He's done a little bit of there, a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying. So, Stormy, how much is it going to matter?
It's going to matter. I mean,
so you got hope from the LCQ story here.
Right. I mean, I've been in that. This third time at the Nationals, and I had to run the LCQ, and I was floored, man. I went from the back to the front and got in the show and finished 9th that night, and it was like, okay, well, hell, that wasn't too bad, you know. The racing here versus what we're doing today and what we're going to do all day tomorrow, we're prepping for qualifying. You're going balls out as hard as you can go, and you're trying to get everything out of it. And when you start the racing, from what I remember, I mean, it just kind of everything slowed down a little bit, kind of leveled out, and you can kind of move it around. And if for a guy like me that don't run here a lot to see that, you know, like you sit up here and watch, like, man, you're just wicking it. But when you're out there racing in the race, you can move around a little bit and try, you know, okay, you can see this guy struggling this way and kind of set him up. It's a lot of fun racing here. It really is. I probably should do more of it, but, you know, it's Sunday night and I'm a working man, so.
And we're back in action, right? Johnny's got he's got his car with Richie. Johnny's got his car that he's working with his son. He literally was working on the left front. You got to figure it out now, right? The left front has been what you guys were working on a lot today for what I saw on the flow cameras.
Yeah, no, he's on a. Want to wait for him? Oh, yeah, he likes something a little bit different than what I have. So I tried to give him what we had, and it just wasn't working for him. So he's actually on a totally different shock package, different sway bar package, totally different stuff. So, yeah, it seems to be working for him. I mean, he seems to be okay, but, yeah, I don't know. You know, I can't get too involved. Like, I'm over there working on this stuff. Richie's like, our stuff's pretty good. Just go over there for a minute. So I've been going back and forth, but it's just amazing how different drivers like different things.
And, Derek, you've set up race cars for other guys. You've got a Trans Am car in your shop. You've got people calling you. You have a new alliance with Port City working towards what could be a young driver process to work with you a lot. What's it like working with Chris Purdy again here back at Slinger Speedway?
Yeah, it's like a step back in time. You know, Purdy and I have been great friends, I feel like, for a long time. 15 years ago, I think it was, 2007, actually late 2006, at La Crosse Speedway was the first time we had raced together with Ken Wills in the 5K Motorsports camp, and we did decent, and we ended up racing the entire 2007 season together. We parted ways. And fast forward 14 years, we ended up meeting back together, and thankfully for Paulie Schaefer and Paul, there's certain tracks that Paulie just doesn't like, and luckily I get the phone call when those tracks pop up, and Slinger's one of them for Paulie he's just not a big fan of. So to be back here at Slinger and to be back here with Purdy and stuff like that, it's a good time. You know, you got Strupp up there and Purdy and Dave Billings, and there's a lot of just really good people that have been around Wisconsin racing for a long time, and I always feel like the Wisconsin crowd's an amazing group. You know, it's just the fan base is amazing. The people themselves are just, I think, some of the best and the nicest in the country, and it's just fun to be back here racing.
We're glad to have you back. That's the best way to end this segment. How about a big hand for Jeff Storm, Derek Thorne, and Johnny Sauter racing tomorrow night in the Slinger Nationals.
Thanks.
Guys, thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Jeffrey, sorry, I got a few more hours of work to do. Derek's going to work on something, and Johnny already had one drink, so that's about it for the night. He's got to focus on tomorrow. Don't buy him one. Don't buy me one. We got work to do tonight. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be right back on our Benson Valley Bourbon Roadshow, presented by Oak Creek Automotive and our friends at Keith's Marina here in West Bend. We'll be right back to Slinger in a moment.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Organize like the pros with Hefner Racing Products. Take your trailer to the next level. Upgrade your garage, streamline your shop. Whether you're tearing up the track or tackling home projects, Hefner Racing Products has you covered with the best made and widest variety of organizational accessories made right here in Wisconsin. Shop online now at hrpracing.com.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Check out our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Hanging out with you at the El Bandito Yankee Tequila pre-race party. We're hanging out with a bunch of racers. The racers themselves have already drawn out of these Miller Lite cans. Is that the one you drew, Ryan? It is the can. He got to keep the can. That's kind of cool. There's something inside it. I thought it'd be like a bank or something.
I pulled a Rusty Wallace right there.
There you go. So they had Miller Lite cans with numbers on the bottom to draw the qualifying order tomorrow. We're hanging out with you at Slinger Speedway. It's a Benson Valley Bourbon Road Show brought to you by Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th and Drexel, and our friends at Keith's Marina in West Bend. If you want a boat of any kind or sort, including the world's best, Wisconsin's largest pontoon dealer, go to Keith's Marina or keithsmarina.com. We are joined by a couple of guys that have a lot of laps around here. They've got speed in their cars as well. They're racing tomorrow night in the super late models. Let's welcome in Ryan Farrell and Jesse Bernhagen. Guys, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, yeah.
Jesse provided us the only excitement today. Off of turn 2, his car swapped ends and went, wait, the red part's supposed to be in the back the whole time, not the white part in the back. He spun, half spin, down the racetrack. He made it exciting for a little bit.
Well, that was what I told Bob. He came up to me after I spun out, and I was like, the only way that Flow Racing was going to give me any attention is if I spun out and gave you guys some excitement today, right?
And it worked.
Yeah. So it was good. It was nice to talk to Bob, nice to meet him. It was cool that the Dillingers came up to put Flow Racing and Slinger Speedway on the map here.
Yeah, to your point, the Flow Racing for the first time is bringing up the entire crew. The majority of them worked on the Snowball Derby. I was part of that pit road crew on the air with Bob Dillner. And the truck we have, the production truck, is the one used for the high-limit sprint car racing. So there's a lot of effort being put forth with Matt Dillner, with Rob Blount, with Bob Dillner on pit road. And Blake McCandless, who I work with, he does the Cars Tour stuff. He and I will be calling the races in the booth. To your point, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal to have everybody here doing this. But it takes a lot of work to get ready for this, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's still more work going on. There's a few cars that are still unloaded right now that are still working to get ready for tomorrow. We're one of them. There's a reason that we spun out. It's not because the car is good. No, we got some more work to do. We got to get this thing dialed in on entry. It's just, I don't know, not stable and not happy. We had a lot of things that we found out throughout the day that weren't positive.
Yep. Gotcha.
So we'll keep working on it just like everybody else will, and hopefully we're good to go tomorrow.
Now, Jesse, when it comes to this racetrack, you know it well. I think you won half of the late model races the year you won the championship just 2 years ago, and you started kind of playing on the super late model side. What has to change? What have you done to try to find the speed from the guys like Ryan Farrell, who's done this a long time, a lot longer than you in super lates?
I think the tires matter so much more. On the 8-inch D800 tire, you can set your air pressures wherever you want them, and you go out there and you race, and Stager comes in where you like, and you're happy. On these ST1s and 2s and everything, it's so finicky and it's so particular that every 16th of an inch matters, and every pound of air pressure matters. At the last race, we came in with way too much air pressure on the right side tires, and the car was just awful, terrible, and that's the part that's thrown us for the biggest loop. We can figure out the setup stuff, we can figure out the bumps, we can figure out the shocks, everything like that, but tires and tire pressure is the hardest game to play.
It's awful.
Tomorrow it's gonna be what, 5 degrees, 10 degrees cooler tomorrow.
Yeah.
And no sun. The track temperature is gonna be totally different. That's gonna throw us all for a loop.
It is so hard. It is so hard out there.
So when you start practice tomorrow, there's more practicing to do tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Not a lot, not as much as today.
Like an hour and 45 minutes, right? Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that.
So you have a little time to dial it in. But you have a notebook that says this is the plan B, this is plan C, and you guys are going to talk tonight about what you might want to do.
Yeah.
Because of all the changes you described.
Yeah, and we're going to come back tomorrow, and we'll unload it with good tires on the car, and hopefully that kind of helps us go. It's so hard, too. If you got 150 laps on your tires, nobody's racing tomorrow with 150 laps on their tires. You start with 4 tires, you go from 0 to 100. You put 4 new ones on, you go from 100 to 200.
Yep.
Well, that's 100 laps. So we're practicing all day on 150 lap tires, and you might be in the same boat.
Yep.
It's hard to dial your car in when you're dealing with stuff like that for what you're going to qualify on.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Ryan, what'd you work through today? I see that at the end of the day, 7th fastest. I know you care about it where you are in the rankings, but that's like half a tenth off, maybe?
That was a tenth off. That was a tenth off of what Fenhouse did. And I feel like there's a tenth in the car.
So we're talking 11.10 seconds to 11.20 seconds.
Yeah, we're talking, and it's funny because on the stopwatch it's a tenth of a second, and you think that is nothing. But in the car, you know exactly where it's at. You know exactly where you're losing it in the car. For me, it was a little bit free. Getting into 1, it was a little bit tight center off. A 2, 3, and 4 was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it, but you got to be careful because so I did have tires on, so usually I'm like the old tire guy. Today I had a sponsor, Rick Patnode and Arcade Driver School came through and got some practice tires, so thanks to those guys. I got new rubber. I'm like everybody else for once. All right.
So you got a free can of beer and you got new rubber in your race truck
today. We won the 6th practice, and so I look forward to getting a big check for that.
Did win.
I want a big check too, not a big number check, but I also want the big check
right.
For winning practice and getting to put that on Facebook and everything. So no, all kidding aside, you can't lie to yourself either. So we had that lap that was decent. It was a 23, but said, well, I think there's, just from what I felt, there's probably a low 1 in it, and sure enough, that's what Luke ran, and I bet he thinks there's a little bit more out there too. So where is it? Is it in the tire pressures? Is it in the bump stops? Is it a little bit of everything? It's funny because there's no guidebook for this. There is nothing out there that you can read on the internet that is going to answer your question for what we do on this in super late model racing. So a lot of times what you would think you would do from the old textbooks or how cars worked back in the day, it's complete opposite now.
And I could go down and talk to you and get setup tips, right?
I could give you my entire notebook and it would ruin your weekend.
Right, because we drive totally different, right? Everything is
Well, we drive the same. We're awesome. But, I mean, the other guys, we couldn't help them, so we couldn't help those guys. No, all kidding aside, it would be almost misleading, right? Something that worked for somebody else could absolutely ruin your day if you take that advice.
Oh, absolutely.
So when it comes to figuring this stuff out, at the halfway break, what can you all do to your race car? You mentioned 4 new tires, but can you do things like what Bubba Power did here in 2016? He drove up to his hauler and changed the rear end gears between the first half and the second half of the race. Can you do that kind of stuff this time?
Well, you can do it. It might screw you up.
Not much else. If you do that, you're not going to have much time for anything else, depending on how many people you got.
So the pit road is behind the billboards here at Slinger Speedway.
Are they going to allow us to do that? I'll keep that in mind.
I don't know.
I feel like that's out of the rules now.
I guess
think
I'm asking the wrong questions. I'm asking the wrong guy because I'm bringing up things that may or may not be
Well,
allowed.
I can tell you one thing on my mind. It's an impound race, so there's things you can do to qualify well, but it's going to look really bad when you start well and go backwards in a hurry because you maybe have too much stagger or you got the wrong gear in the car. There's little things that I might not do now that I used to be able to do. So with this being an impound race, you got to be a little bit careful with that.
That means you can't do a whole lot of changing after qualifying to race time.
Yep.
Starting the race on the tires you qualified on is one thing, but you're talking about a lot of other little small things you were doing from the qualifying mindset of 3 laps to make it good for 2.
And I had to clarify it. I clarified it. You cannot take a tire off the car after qualifying. You cannot swap rights. You cannot swap lefts. You can change tire pressure. That's all you get. Take the tape off, and that's all you get to do.
That's why he's on the show. He's telling us more things than we didn't know
Yep.
before.
No, so I mean that's a whole strategy. It really is, and as tight as this field is, you kind of just like, what can I get away with and still be competitive in the race? So
16 cars in on qualifying time, again with your race setup potentially, but there's that factor, Jesse, of, okay, if I had my time was close, but I'm going to pick up a 10th and a half, and that may not be enough if I'm in my race setup when it comes to qualifying. So now you may have to do a small adjustment or a big adjustment to say, I need to get 2 tenths now.
Yeah, if you're looking for 2 tenths at Slinger Speedway, you're swinging for the fences.
10-4.
That's the wildest part about this racetrack.
The longest 2 tenths of your life.
Yeah, right. Like if Luke is at a 1.10 and I'm at a 1.37, we're out to lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's
Crazy.
you're way off. Versus at Kakana or the Dells or other tracks around here, you can find that speed. Slinger is like you're fighting for thousandths and hundredths. A 1.1 to a 1.8 is a lot of speed.
Last question for you, Jesse. I've seen you race a late model here in a 50-lap race where it took you a while to go from like 12th to 6th, 6th to 4th, 4th to 2nd. It's a long time side-by-side racing here to make passes, especially we're talking about tenths or hundredths of a second. How does that play to an advantage for you knowing that you have the ability, you have the knowledge, how long you keep outside of a guy, how long do you just let him go and let things cool down, try another attack? How much does that come to play in your mindset and maybe an advantage for you here at your home track?
Yeah, I've always thought of the race backwards. When I raced a late model, I tried to get to the front as fast as I could. And I try to think of it the same way as the super late model. If you get to the front, then you can control the pace. And not that we're not racing NASCAR. It's not like pace like that. But you can at least, if a caution comes out, then you have the position to choose on the cone which way you want to go.
It's
right?
a big difference from first to second
Yep.
now in super late model racing. Yeah, when you're second, it's almost scary if that guy takes. Well, they're going to probably spray the track tomorrow.
Yep.
And being second is a real nail biter of a thing. You get to think about it for 5 or 6 caution laps, and whatever you pick, it's probably not going to be right. But I'm guessing the outside line will be better, and that'll be something for people to watch tomorrow. Is how dominant is the outside line early, and
choosing which lane to restart.
How far
the race
can you
in.
go? What are you willing to risk to get down to the bottom?
Because if you go, say for example, the top 3 cars choose the outside 1, 2, 3. The guy running 4th now can choose the inside front row on the restart.
Yep.
Yeah,
and if he does that, it always works out for him. And no matter what you do in your head, it's always the wrong. It's going to work out wrong. And if it ever works out in your favor, you immediately forget that and you go back to remembering all the bad ones. So
well,
it's just a racer mindset.
Last question for you, Ryan, in terms of the posse you travel with. Adams Towing's coming down. The associates, I'm guessing, are coming. How many people will be wearing blue number 80 hats, T-shirts?
Oh, we got so many color hats. Yeah. Well, I got the Swans over there. He's got an orange cone on, so he's blue and orange. He's looking good.
Yeah.
And you can't miss him.
Feeling good,
He
too,
was
I can
tall
tell.
before
James
the cone.
Swan.
Now he's really tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have quite a few people in the pits, quite a few people in the stands, and I hope I'm not in the stands watching them, but there's always a chance of that. I've gone home here many times and got to watch the race from turn 1. So I always know that's a risk, but it's fun trying, and you don't know how long you're going to get to keep trying to do this. And what is 31 guys here to try it? It's kind of an honor just to be able to do it. So
we wish you well. Hopefully you guys are in the show. And a factor, let's give a big hand to Jesse Bernhagen and Ryan Farrell, sponsored by Oak Creek Automotive, among his other sponsors, for joining us here today, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you sticking around
Thank
for
you
the
very much,
qualifying
guys.
party. We're having some fun with you at Slinger Super Speedway. The party, I think, goes till 9. Music will start after our show. Who knows how long that'll be. We got racers here hanging out with us. We want to thank our friends at Keith's Marina in West Bend. They have some great boats, new and used. Their inventory is all online. Go to keithsmarina.com. We also want to thank Bobby Gudnek at Oak Creek Automotive. Bobby's here sponsoring race cars. His nephew Ryan is racing both supers and late models here for the first time in the Slinger Nationals. Lots to cover, lots to talk about, lots to see and do here yet tonight at the pre-race party sponsored by El Bandito Yankee Tequila. This is our Benson Valley Bourbon Roadshow. We're hanging out with you at Slinger Super Speedway, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Volansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln and West Dallas.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement. 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive.
Hey there, this is Leon from LD's Barbecue, open Wednesday through Sunday in East Troy. Not only do we serve your favorites every day, but we also provide catering for graduations, weddings, office parties, and more. Stop in and try our award-winning food, sauces, and rubs. Check us out on Facebook for daily specials, LD's Barbecue in East Troy. Remember, we'll smoke your butt.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, hanging out with you here on a Monday night. It's the 46th annual Cobblestone Hotels Slinger Nationals, presented by Lynch GMC and Buick of West Bend and Miller Lite. Got a couple of guys hanging out with us. You see them on Tuesdays. That's when we usually do our show. But this is the Benson Valley Bourbon Road Show, and we're doing a road show at Slinger Super Speedway, presented by Oak Creek Automotive and Keith Marina. A voice you'll hear at the track, and you'll hear for many years, including on our show, is Dean Strom. Dean, thanks for jumping in for a quick minute.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you, buddy.
You sounded good today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
You hosted the qualifying draw party.
Yes.
Ryan Farrell kept the can with the number on the bottom. Do you need that one back because he kind of drank it already?
No, I told him I'd buy him a beer.
Oh, well, did you pay for that one?
No.
Perfect. Did anybody else take their beer with them?
Yeah, they all took the beer with them.
What?
Even
right.
Penn Sauter took the beer with him. I said,
Well,
make
yeah.
sure you give it to your dad.
Right. He had one, he said. Johnny had one. Penn is not drinking beer. He's only 15.
He's only 15 years old, yes.
Bill Holland joining us as well.
Hi, Bill.
Dean.
Bill, we're gonna see a lot of coverage next Tuesday on the Slinger Nationals, aren't we?
Boy, there's an awful lot going on here.
What'd you tackle today so far?
We talked with a couple of drivers to get a little pre-race insight. Luke Fenhouse, who has won here in the past, but had a rough go on the Stars Tour event here. Kendrick Cryer is here. First time in a super late model at Slinger Speedway.
Yep, Wisconsin Dells native, now living in Florida.
And also talked a little bit with Derek Kraus, whose super late program seems to be pretty stout these days.
Turned the corner, and the last time he was on a track like Slinger, he ended up winning a 300-lap race at Newport Speedway in Tennessee. I was there to cover it for the ASA Stars broadcast, and he looked really good.
He has run well. At this event, he hasn't gotten the win, but he's been in the mix.
He's had problems qualifying.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Kraus. He has had to come through the last chance race probably more times than I have fingers. And so he has to start in the back, but he always seems like he's on the podium at the end of 200 laps.
And he told us on the coverage on Flow that he thinks he found something finally last year when he finished third. He's like, I think I got some speed in my car finally. He does have a car that's been good. He has a car that's been practicing well. Dean
and you know
Strom,
what? And you know what? That is like, I asked his dad, Mark.
Yeah.
I said, is this the same old car? He says, yeah. The same car that won the SA Stars race? Yeah. That's an old car? I said, how old? He didn't even know. He's like, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So an old car, an old left-hander, tweaked and
new
turned
front stub on it since
by
last
Toby,
year. Yeah,
by
right.
Toby.
Yeah.
So that can still be super competitive. I think that's a great story.
That's good to see.
Yeah, I'm just looking at practice speeds and qualifying speeds. Dean, any surprises? I'm going to lead you to the top 5 that we had in this mock qualifying speeds. We had Luke Fenhouse, R.J. Braun, Johnny Sauter, Max Kaler, Andrew Morrissey, Levon Vandergeest, Ryan Farrell, Gabe Summers, Ty Majeski 9th. That's a surprise to me. And 10th, Casey Johnson. Now, we're talking about minuscules of a second. Derek Thorne was on our show earlier, and he talked about the calculations and the slivering and all that stuff. He figures like 3 feet is almost like 2/200ths of a second.
Well, check this out. So Levon Vandergeest was 7th at an 11.225.
Yeah.
8th was Steve Apel at an 11.226.
Yeah.
Then Ryan Farrell was 9th at an 11.233. Brad Miller had a 236. Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Mighty tight. And when it comes to racing, it's going to be great because the field is here, the class of field is here. I'm telling you, it's going to be an exciting race to watch. And Dean, I'm not asking you to pick a favorite, but
I'm not going to pick one, Jim.
but we also know the fast qualifier likely will not start on the pole, right?
It's a 12-car invert.
12. We already know 12.
So we're going to take 16 through time, and the top 12 will be inverted. Now that's different because
he's saying we because he's wearing purple. He works here.
Yeah, right. It used to be 12 through time.
Yep.
They have bumped that up to 16 through time, but it's still a 12-car invert.
And, Bill, where are you going to be watching the race? Where when you watch the footage coverage? I don't want you to bug Bill. He's got a lot to do tomorrow, but are you going to be on the roof somewhere? Are you going to be hanging out on the sidelines? You're going to get a good spot in the Turn 1 grandstands? Where are you going to be?
During the race, during the big 200 lapper, I want to be up top.
All right. On the roof where Dan Margette's hanging out.
Good
and the
place
full
to be.
cameras are.
And
it is a great place to be.
Maybe you could go up top here. Trouble in Turn 4.
I don't want to be in any kind of
you
trouble.
You can go up top there.
Dean's the unelected, unofficial mayor of Turn 4.
Self-appointed.
Trouble in Turn 4.
Self-appointed mayor.
Right, that's the word. Yeah. Well, nobody runs against you. You know, you're going to win the election.
Like Boss Hogg or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You said it.
Right. Rascal P. Coltrane's going to come by and check that ID.
This worked out pretty good, didn't it, Jim?
It did.
I like this.
Worked out great. Yeah, we're hanging out at his beautiful tent. I want to thank the Dassel family for helping us hang out and do a show. Yeah, absolutely. Give them a hand. They're doing a lot of great work. I know that Todd Thielen and Elizabeth Thielen put a lot of work into getting us to here, and the Dassel family's doing an awesome job rolling on through with it. It's the 46th annual Cobblestone Nationals, Cobblestone Hotels Slinger Nationals, I should say. No shortening that up as well.
Presented by Lynch Buick GMC with Miller Lite.
Yeah. Got all that?
Say that 10 times.
Dean has to say that every minute, every sentence tomorrow. What time do things get rolling tomorrow, Dean?
4:45 for qualifying. That's
so practice tomorrow during the day, just kind of hang out?
Yep, practice during the day tomorrow, both late models and super late models. But we really turn it up, crank it up at 4:45. That's when the chips are on the line. Big money. Ken Sports, I know they're a supporter of the Racing Roundup show.
$1,000.
$1,000 to the fast qualifier for the super late models.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. You know what's cool about our show? We have sponsors like Benson Valley Bourbon, Oak Creek Automotive, and Keith's Marina. I want to tell you about Keith's Marina right now. It's a family-owned business in West Bend since 1968 and offers the latest in docks and lifts, service, new and used pontoons, and tri-tunes. Call them and ask them what that means. I'm not going to tell you. You got to call and ask. Brad's right over here. Keith's Marina is Wisconsin's largest Sylvan, smoker, craft, and Starwell dealer. Their complete inventory of Mercury engines and new and used boats is on their website, keithsmarina.com. They can help you find what you're looking for, too. They actually have a whole survey. Like, what are you looking for? What do you want to spend? What kind of newer? How new? Here's our inventory. Contact them. They'll contact you back. They are the pontoon capital of Wisconsin. Find out why. Open Monday through Saturday. Their website is keithsmarina.com.
Highway 33 in West Bend.
Highway 33 in West Bend. Dean's always got that. Whoop, see that nice slow? Yep. Thanks for being part of the show, Dean.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim. It's been a lot of fun. Last night was fun. The prelude to the Nationals. I got to be up in the booth, and today I just got to hang out and did the hosted the pre-race party, and
you get to hang out again tonight.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna go hang out tomorrow.
Well, we
tonight.
dragged you away from the party, which goes till like 9 o'clock tonight, right here, right now.
I gotta go hang out with my friend Bob Gutnick from Oak Creek Automotive.
You probably should. Yeah, you should. And that's, by the way, Oak Creek Automotive is located on South 27th and Drexel. Since 1989, Bobby Gudnak and the experts there have offered quality auto repairs done by ASE certified technicians. They proudly sponsor Ryan Gudnak, Penn Sauter, and the Slinger Nationals. They've got Casey Johnson, other drivers. Stop in and see the racers at Oak Creek Automotive at South 27th and Drexel in Oak Creek. They've got a great Facebook page as well, and they can get it done. Light-duty truck repair, cars, transmissions, you got it, name it. Oak Creek Automotive can take care of that. We're gonna show you, for the folks that are watching our show, what Bill Holland had fun doing last Friday.
Last Friday.
What'd you do, Bill?
Well, we're at the world's fastest quarter-mile oval here.
Yep.
But just down the road a piece, there's a place a whole lot bigger. That would be, of course, the famous Milwaukee Mile.
What'd you do?
We were there for the 30th anniversary celebration of the Harry Miller Club. And if you're one of those folks who's like, Harry Miller, what did he drive? Harry Miller, 100 years ago, was the biggest name in IndyCar racing.
Menominee, Wisconsin native.
Harry Miller in the 20s and 30s was arguably as big as Roger Penske in today's day and age.
Built the chassis, built the engines that became Offenhauser's, had 20-some cars in one Indy 500 alone that were running his engine and his chassis. Figure that out.
The legacy was incredible. It was a remarkable learning experience. We got to spend some time with our friend Steve Zotke, who is big into this project. The Harry Miller Club brings legendary race cars from all over the country to the mile. It was really cool.
It's a lot of fun. We do this show every week, and check out what Bill Holland put together for this week's In the Groove right now.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the Groove at America's legendary oval, the famed Milwaukee Mile. Today we're here not for a race, but for a racing celebration as the Harry Miller Club celebrates its 30th anniversary, honoring a Wisconsin original.
Harry Miller was probably the premier IndyCar builder pre-war in the 20s into the 30s until his passing in 1943.
The cars on display and on the track span more than 70 years of racing history. According to motorsports historian Steve Zotke, all are connected in some way to Harry Miller.
The Peugeot engine, which became the Miller engine and then later became the Offenhauser engine. 17 Indianapolis 500s with Miller cars. Offenhausers won so many. And just the lineage that dates all the way to roughly 1980.
There are truly famous race cars here. Among them, the Miller Special Tommy Milton won Indy with in 1923. The 16-cylinder Miller car that finished fourth in the 1931 500. The Gilmore Special, driven by the iconic Rex Mays. And the Blue Crown Sparkplug Special that won Indy in 1949. Every one of these cars has a story. Bill Hoff's 1935 Miller Ford is no exception.
It was a car built by Harry Miller with a Ford engine in it. And these cars were designed, manufactured, assembled in 14 weeks to be ready for the 1935 Indy 500. Ultimately competed in the Indianapolis 500, 1940, 41, and then the war, and then 46 and 47 after the war. So 4 years at the 500. The best it ever did was 11th.
Today, Cassie Nault is a passenger, but in the 1930s, the riding mechanic had a serious job to do.
It had to be hard, and also the part that stands out to me in the year 2025 is the lack of safety equipment. I mean, there's no seatbelts in there. You're racing along with other cars, and so that's pretty dangerous. Definitely an appreciation for the history of it.
In the 1940s and 50s, Offenhauser-powered roadsters carried on what Harry Miller began. Mike Pistella, one of the drivers wheeling this one from the early 50s.
You could go run 140, 150 miles an hour with this car right now. So it's quite an exhilarating ride. And Offenhauser doesn't smooth out until probably about 3,000, 3,500. So if you have any loose fillings in your mouth, they're going to fall out until you get to higher RPM. And then it smooths out, and it's almost like magic carpet.
Barreling down the front stretch at Milwaukee in a car Jack McGrath raced at Indy 3 times in the early 50s. A special day for Minnesota's Matt Ryan.
vintage cars are so much fun. This is my dad's car. He lets me run it, and it's just so much fun to get out here. A beautiful day. Rained a little bit this morning, but we turned out pretty good, so it was a fun day. The corners are fun. The straights are fun. The car's fun. Everything's fun about it. That's all I got to say.
There are remarkably crafted replicas of classic roadsters, tribute cars. Hales Corners car owner Greg Wilkie on this replica of his grandfather's 1959 Indy winner.
If you want to cover all the bases and try to acquire all the period correct parts, being shocks, wheels, tires, transmissions, it can be really difficult. If you're going to substitute that with new products, it's not anywhere near as difficult. But this one, we were able to find, create, talk people out of some really original parts to make the whole car extremely original.
Dr. Robert Dix of Greenwood, Indiana, owns this replica of Old Calhoun, the Offie Roadster Parnelli Jones drove to victory at Indy in 1963.
This car probably has 5,000 miles on it here. I've had probably 50-some people drive it, and it's a dream to drive. And Parnelli has driven it twice.
Among the drivers wheeling the 98 Roadster, Eddie Sachs III, whose late father raced against Parnelli Jones in the 63 Indy 500.
You manhandle them and you drive them. You drive them by the seat of your pants, and the faster you go, the more you drive the car, because that's how these guys became heroes. That's how they became such a nostalgic person of today, those that are still alive. They're heroes.
One car stands out because it's not an Indy car. According to Justin Schaefer, the number 10 Ford is one of the earliest stock cars.
This car was driven by Fred Frame, and it actually won the race in 1933. As far as comparing it to other Indy cars, it's nothing like it. It is simply a 33 Ford Roadster without fenders or a windscreen or anything. It's lightened up because it was a stock car race at the 1933 Elgin Road Race.
This year, for the first time, the Miller Club features Offenhauser-powered cars from the 1970s. Jacques Dreysang of Wauwatosa wheeling this Dan Gurney-built machine that was Indy winner Mark Donohue's last Champ Car ride and four-time 500 winner Rick Mears' first.
This place, all the vibes, all the history, everything comes out when you're on the track. Over 100 years of big car / Indy car racing, it really exudes out of the pavement, and it's such a stellar thing, especially being local here. I mean, I can hear IndyCar Weekend, I can hear the cars from my house in Tosa, so it's a really neat thing.
The number 40 Offie holds special meaning for one of its owners. Mike Lashnet was part of the Patrick Racing team that won Indy in 1973 with driver Gordon Johncock, but lost team driver Sweet Savage.
This car originally was the backup car for Bobby Unser. Dan kept the car. He kept two cars in reserve and didn't use them, one for Bobby Unser and one for the other team driver, Jerry Grant. And he kept those cars for about 40 years. Ted Warner, who co-owns the car with me, had written the Sweet Savage book with Angela Savage, Swede's daughter. So we did it up as a tribute to Swede from 1973.
So many cars with so many stories, all connected to one man, Harry Miller.
Harry Miller's cars and the Harry Miller Club play a very important element in historic motorsports because they're keeping all this alive. I mean, on average, I think they got 38, 40 cars here this year. They've had as many as in the high 50s, and you get to see cars here that you don't see anywhere else.
Statistics don't fully measure Harry Miller's impact on auto racing, but just consider this. Descendants of the race cars he designed were winning races long after he'd passed away. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes our program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
Bill Allen, thanks a bunch for that input, and looking forward to your coverage next Tuesday. Well, yeah, absolutely. When we're back at Polly's Pub and Eatery, looking forward to seeing you there with complete coverage of our Slinger Nationals.
Slinger Nationals never disappoints.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to wrap it up from here. I want to thank our friends at Benson Valley Bourbon, thank our friends at Oak Creek Automotive, thank our friends at Keith's Marina for being part of our program. It's been the Benson Valley Bourbon Roadshow Tour. 3 straight weeks. Well, guess what? The next 3, we're back at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas. Looking forward to complete motorsports coverage every Tuesday starting at 6 p.m. And don't forget to tune in to our Saturday, 11:30 a.m. CW18 Milwaukee TV show. 30 minutes of great fun and a lot of motorsports coverage for you as well. To get more people to the racetrack, we hope to see you all tomorrow night here at the Cobblestone Hotel, Slinger Nationals, presented by Lynch GMC Buick of West Bend and Miller Lite. I want to thank Dave Schmullers. I want to thank Matt Rapina, Mark Goodman, also Bruce Blodgett, Faye Hendricks, Bill Holland, Dean Strom, and the whole cast of characters. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Sam, as well, for all your input. And Jill and Greg as well. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thanks for being part of the program. We're hanging out at Slinger. We'll see you tomorrow night. If you can't make it, we'll see you on Flow Racing. Hope you get here. Until then, see you next Tuesday, right? See you next Tuesday at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Until then, set your DVR, support your local racing, and have at it, racers.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to tell your friends and watch our 30-minute TV show on Milwaukee's CW18 this Saturday morning at 11:30. Like our show on Facebook, follow and interact with us on X and Instagram at Racing Roundup. Join the racing crowd at our live show and win prizes. For our latest show schedule and to watch all of our shows on demand, visit our website, RacingRoundupShow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, on behalf of our entire crew, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks, set your DVRs, have at it, racers,